right, Melissa, we can get started if you just want to go down the list and do introductions first, and then we'll get it going.
Sure, that sounds good. All right, so everybody, I am Melissa with JMT. And then we have Brandon Drawhorn.
Hi everyone, I'm Brandon Drawhorn from FDOT District 7 Safety Office.
Thank you. All right, Officer Boone with Tarpon Springs.
Good morning, Officer Boone, Tarpon Springs Police.
Thank you. Joseph Camara.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Joe Camara with the Pinellas County Schools Safety and Transportation.
Thank you. Mike Zen.
Mike Zen, Florida Department of Transportation, District 7, Traffic Safety Office.
Thank you. George Edmiston.
Good morning, everyone. George Edmiston, Benish.
All right, Ms. Joan Rice.
Morning, Joan Rice, Pinellas County Public Works.
Thank you. Sergeant Negersmith.
Sergeant Negersmith, City of Clearwater Police Department.
Thank you. All right, Mark.
Sergeant Mark Easty, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office.
All right, Robert Wallace.
Hi, it's Robert Wallace. I'm with Florida Department of Transportation, Health and Safety.
Thank you. Mashi.
Good morning, I'm Mashi Daraste, AQC, FDOT Safety Ambassador.
Thank you. Autumn Westerman. Okay, sorry. She is with Pinellas County Schools Transportation. I believe she's having mic issues. Deputy Miller. He is on the call. All right, we'll go to Jonathan Koontz.
Good morning, Jonathan Koontz, Pinellas County Public Works.
Thank you. Lori Paleo.
Lori Paleo, JMT.
Thank you. Doug Hansen. Doug, you're muted.
Now? Okay, yes. Doug, good morning, everyone. Doug Hansen, retired from St. Petersburg, retired transportation planner.
Mike Blick.
Morning, Mike Blick, Largo Police Department, Traffic Safety Unit.
You have an incoming call.
All right, Janice Martinez.
All right, had an incoming call on my other phone. Good morning, Janice Martinez, Law Enforcement Liaison for District 7.
All right, awesome. Brenton Mosier.
Hi, Brenton Mosier, USF Cutter.
Thank you. Corporal Kobeka.
Hi, Larry with Pinellas Park.
Thank you. Ms. Cheryl Stacks.
Hi, good morning. Cheryl Stacks, City of St. Petersburg, Transportation and Parking Management. I'm filling in because Mike Frederick retired earlier, so I'll be attending the meetings going forward. Thanks.
Thank you. Don Skelton.
Hey, Don Skelton from Way Engineering.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone who called in that I did not call your name out loud? All right, Mark, that's all you. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Let's go ahead and get the minutes approved. So if we get someone to approve the minutes and then second it. Anyone? Bueller?
I'll approve.
Hopefully we can fix this issue.
I second it.
Thank you, sirs. All right, we'll move on to enforcement. We'll start with Clearwater PD. Do you guys have anything from the last month or anything for this month going on?
The thing we have had in the last month over recent periods is rollaway bus crashes. some of the, I guess, either jolly trolleys or buses have had issues with securing their brakes, and they've rolled into buildings or into cars or into parks, curb stops rather, and it's become an issue. And so we've been addressing that with PSTA and working to modify some of the different areas that they have where these buses come in, and change up some of the things they've got going on. So other than that, nothing.
All right, thank you. Sergeant Blickendorf with Largo.
We're doing the ELE details currently. We were in the Wolf Pack last weekend. Just had an assessment for an open position this morning. So that's about it for right now.
Thank you. Larry with Pinellas Park.
Participated in the Wolf Pack. Got a Saturday detail coming up next weekend. Daytime detail based on Park Boulevard. And then we're just hitting Park Boulevard pretty hard.
Alrighty. Anyone else? I think that was all for law enforcement. As far as Pinellas County, we hosted the DUI Wolfpack on July 2nd. We netted just over 30 arrests, 25 of them being DUI. So it was a very successful night. We probably won't. We'll do some saturation patrols between now, but our next Wolfpack won't be until the holidays, typically around December for Christmas holiday party. So we won't be. It'll be a while before we do our next Wolfpack. The DUI unit attended the DUI Symposium in Orlando. I noticed most of you guys were there. I know Largo had a good showing there. Clearwater, so it was a good showing there for the training. Coming up right now, there's 20 people in the Medical Foundations class, just taught by Dr. Carl Siddick. That's hosted at the Sheriff's Office. Next week, St. Pete PD, IPTM is going to have their 3-day SFST class and the A-Ride class that I'll be teaching along with another corporal from the agency. So for you law enforcement folks, if you guys don't have anybody in that class and need somebody to go, it's free and it's local. And that's next week, July 11th through the 15th. I'll be in Orlando on July 26th for the in-person statewide DUI assessment that's being done with FDOT and NHTSA. July 29th and 30th is the MAT Awards. And the Walk Like MAT event. I know it's a little bit of a ways out, but I wanted to get it out there. We had a meeting yesterday with Sharon Hall to go over some of the logistics of it. But if anybody's interested, I'll make sure the link is put out on the next minutes. I'll send it to Melissa. But it's October 22nd. It's going to be in the same venue it was last year, the Oldsmar Sports Complex. And it'll start at 5. So I'll have the link in there for everyone that's interested in coming out to the event. So we'll get some good participation there. That's all I have from the Sheriff's Office. Anyone from engineering?
For Pinellas County, the North Gap, the extension of the Pinellas Trail, we're going to have a ribbon cutting on August the 5th. So that will be officially opening soon. I mean, there are a lot of people that are using it already, but that's when it'll start. And then Jonathan has something also to report for Pinellas County.
Pinellas County staff, we had 2 helmet fittings with several different, 2 different YMCAs, where we passed out 150 helmets and safety devices, and spoke to the kids about the importance of wearing the helmets and how to, travel safe and continue to hopefully keep those numbers down.
All right, thank you. St. Pete.
Hi, Hi, good morning, Cheryl. I'm not sure what Mike would typically report to you all, but I do know that we have several crosswalks in development right now. Several that we're working on with FDOT on 5th Avenue North and working on what those will look like so those could be advanced to design the rest of the year. Some that we're working on for city roads like ML King Street South as a part of our Complete Streets implementation plan. So in total, we probably have about maybe a dozen to 15 pedestrian crosswalks that we've got in late stages of planning or early phases of design. We're looking to be constructed within the next year. Other than that, we are working on what our city strategy will be for pursuing the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant out of the federal bipartisan infrastructure bill. That funding opportunity is available now, so working with Ford Pinellas and as a city administration to determine what application that would be, but that would probably be on the order of a $10 to $20 million project for safe streets in St. Pete. So I think that's all that I've got for now, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to contribute more as the months go on. Thanks.
Thank you, Cheryl. That's exactly what Mike gives us updates on. So, Brenton with Cutter.
Hi, yes. So Cutter is currently running a geofenced safety campaign on Park Boulevard. We've gotten several hundred surveys on that already, so we are definitely getting some awareness of the speed issues and such on there. We are also still in the midst of our ELEE program, so we've gotten some good stats on that. And I think that is about it for Cutter.
Thank you. Folks with FDOT, I know there's a couple of you out of District 7.
Yeah, Mark, pretty much, I know it's covered it and Brenton covered it, so is what we're doing with, in your area. Outside of that, it's just business as usual for us over there, maintaining things for you.
Oh, Mark, I just wanted to also add that George Edmondson just finished summer school teen traffic safety education in Pinellas County, so he hit about 6 or 7 schools during the summer, raising awareness for the teen drivers during their driver's ed program about bike ped and other FDOT-related safety issues. And also, we have picked up 4 or 5 more schools for the fall semester. Through a FDOT grant, we were able to get some more teachers certified to teach driver's ed to replace some of the retired teachers. And so we are going to have a lot more opportunities in the fall to reach more students during the driver's ed program.
Well, that is good because I knew that there was some worry about being short for driver's education teachers, so that's good. George, you want to pick up on that?
Yeah, no, it was 7 scholarships went out and filling in high schools where there's been vacancies for the past couple of years. So, and even additional schools picked up another half unit of driver's ed. So they're taking it serious here in Pinellas County. I'm hoping our other district counties will follow in tow as well. But yeah, looking forward to that. And certainly if folks from MAD need to get into some of those schools or get some of that information, just send me an email. I'll get you the new contacts for those as well.
Yeah, I'll send you Sharon Hall's email. She's with MAD, so I'll forward that to you. Send it out to her.
Perfect.
Anyone else from engineering? Alrighty. Joe with the schools, any updates? I know it's summer, but
August 10th starts the new year. But Autumn and I, we've been out. We reduced our routes. We've been looking at different routes in order to, with the number of drivers we have. So we're trying to make it where we get all the kids to school. But what's going to happen, Mark, here, it's going to put a lot more onus on you guys enforcing the laws, because the routes right now, we're down to 335 routes. What that's going to do is condense a lot more students in certain areas. And like when I was talking with Melissa, a lot of these individuals, they don't pay attention to anything. And like Mike chimed in, the adults, they're occupied, so they're just driving. So I'm reaching out to you guys to make sure we're going to beef up. We're doing a lot more training. We raised salaries are going up too for these drivers. So we expect to get more drivers in. So what I need from you guys out there, if you see any of my drivers doing anything wrong or speeding other than the regular civilians, you need to let me know. I will crack down on them immediately and get things squared away. But you guys, as far as pedestrians or drivers, you're going to have to probably pick up the pace with some of them. And I know you guys are stressed out, with the amount of employees. So whatever help you could give us, I would greatly appreciate.
The only issue that I know that me and Howie had seen was when the bus driver, when they're about to pull over, they don't have the flashing lights coming on. Was it the 500 feet or whatever it is before they stop, and before the stop signs come out? Honestly, I've never really seen them speeding or anything like that. That was the only problem, because it's hard to enforce, write a citation for it, especially when I'm parked in a certain area and my video shows that the flashing lights weren't on prior to the stop signs coming out.
Autumn and I have been working with the drivers. We got the videos. I got Beth with communications. We did a special video with this illustrating 200 feet prior to the stop. The ambers have to come out, and the driver's got to make sure he's paying attention to whatever cars are there before he drops his reds. And the same thing with directing the students when they could cross and when they could come on the bus. So we've been pushing, the last 2 years with COVID, everything went out the door. So we're getting back in the swing of things, and we're teaching them what to do and what they have to do. So hopefully it'll put you guys in a better light with this.
And school starts on a Wednesday? You said August 10th?
August 10th, yes, sir.
Okay. I know.
No rhyme or reason with that. Don't go there.
All right. Yeah, we typically, I know my unit gets pulled, the DUI unit, so we'll come off nights and we come on day shift and we do school zones and buses. So we'll definitely be hitting it the first couple of weeks. So,
I know Howie's out there. He's like a hound on the fox.
Yeah, he's he definitely pays particular attention to the school zones and the buses for sure.
Yes,
so,
he does.
And I'm pretty big on the buses too. So,
all right.
I'll have that on the calendar and make sure that we're out there.
Well, that's all we have.
All right. Janice, you have anything with the LEL?
We have our award ceremony next week. The only agency in Pinellas County that placed was Largo PD. Congratulations, Largo. So we'll have plenty of Largo representation out there. We're doing middle training. Middle stands for Marijuana Impaired Driving Detection for Law Enforcement. That's that bridge in between A-RIDE and DRE. So I've actually never seen the curriculum. I'm excited to see that next week. And for your class, for your standard mark next week, if you need implied consent cards, I got the new ones for you. So just let me know how many you need. I'll get them over there to you.
Yeah, the last update I got, we had 13 students registered. So I would assume probably around 20 cards each.
Yeah.
And are you coming out on a specific day?
You let me know. So I'm kind of flexible. I'll be over on that side of the world tomorrow. I can meet with you and drop you off some, or next week. So I'll call you after the meeting. We can make arrangements to get you some.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That'll work. Congrats, Largo, on placing. Good job. All right.
The sheriff's office and Pinellas Park were closed. They were very close, but Largo was the only one that actually placed, and that's statewide.
Good. Good. All right. Anybody else have anything before we move on? All righty. So we will hit the problem locations. I know Howie was on here, but we'll start with the first one, US 19, 298, 297. That just seems like it's going to be an ongoing problem. Mike, do you know what kind? I know the delineators, the problem with them hitting it. Do you know what type of damage it actually does to the vehicles when they hit it?
I really don't know. I mean, I would imagine it depends on the vehicle. If you're hitting it with a Corvette, which is all plastic, I imagine it would be extensive as opposed to an F-250, So I really don't know what kind of damage it would create. they're plenty visible from either one of those type of vehicles, so shame on the driver, I guess.
Yeah, because I know on US or on East Lake near was it Tarpon Woods, when I used to live up there, as I've never actually seen anybody go through it. I've always wanted to, because I was typically in my patrol car, and then I would pull them over and write them the appropriate citation for it, and then make sure FDOT got refunded for having to fix it. But as soon as they put new ones up, like within 2 days, it seems like they're blasting them. So I don't understand what the issue is with that.
It has been an issue for us on the maintenance side of it, because, like you said, we have to keep replacing them. There's new ones that have come on the market that have been tested well, and you see them on the Suncoast out there, the expressway. Well, that's how they separated the express lane.
Yep.
And it's that newer type of delineators. Trucks can run over them and everything else, and they pop right back up. So I don't know how long it gets to before it gets replaced everywhere, but that's the newer style that's the department's trying to go to everywhere.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. I've seen those too. They were nice and bright and reflective when they first put them up. Now they're just tarnished from tires and everything else, because people are blasting those too.
And they're still standing. So
yes, they are.
Can you tell us where
right.
298, 297 is?
So that is just south of Curlew Road, if you're heading northbound on US 19.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And actually, all right, so the next one would be Tarpon Springs, and I apologize. I do remember seeing you on here, Officer Boone. Did you guys have anything as far as enforcement stuff, and then we'll hit this problem location?
Yes, sir. We've been hitting the U.S. Highway 19 and Lime Street. We just had FDOT come in, and they're getting ready to put the delineators up to force people to make the right turn versus going straight. I think they did it about 2.5 weeks ago. So that's our high crash area. So we're still working on that, and we sent the guys out to do the program there today, and was very successful with about 15 traffic stops on US Highway 19 in reference to that. So we're still in education mode for it. Thank you.
Are the crashes coming down in that area since they put that stuff up?
It has. We see a lot of braking and slowing down. But we have seen it slow down, and I think once they either do the raised curbing or the delineators, that's going to help as well.
All right, well, we'll keep that on the list until all that stuff's done, and then we'll reevaluate that one. All right. School zones. I know Howie's got this on here. We'll keep that on there for next month when school kicks back up. So same thing with the passing of the school buses. We'll hit that back. What about the light at Tarpon Mall, Officer Ben?
The light at Tarpon Mall. Still waiting on FDOT to start that program. I think we need the left turn arrows bad. We've had multiple fatalities. We've had several crashes. It's just with that having no arrows there, it's just a big problem. And I heard we were going to start in March, and it keeps getting put off. And I don't know if Nick is on here with our city, but he's the one that's following up on it, and it just keeps getting put off and put off. But really needs to be looked at with the turn arrows for our malls.
Where's the light at Tarpon Mall? Is it?
It's Tarpon Avenue, and it'll be west of US Highway 19. There's a traffic light in between Walmart and the Publix entrance. So you have just green bulbs, but there's two left turn lanes one going eastbound, one going westbound. And they're having to look around buses, look around traffic. We got cars that are making the U-turn. are cutting through the mall because of the light at US Highway 19 and Tarpon. So until that project is updated, we're going to continue to have fatalities plus crashes.
Thank you.
Mike, do you happen to know if there's a status on that project at all?
I know I sent in a request to have that traffic warrant done at that light to see what needed to be done, warrant wise. So I haven't got a report back on the warrant. So.
Okay. All right. Next one is US 19 and Northside. Do you know anything about that, Mike? The left turn lane there?
No, and FHP brought that to our attention.
Yeah, and I don't see.
That's been a problem for a while. I mean, within 6 months, it's probably going to be closed down because of the construction out there on US 19.
You know what? That is right. Yeah. All right, we'll keep that on there and see what happens with the construction.
But typically, this, like I brought up before, this looks like it's more enforcement issues than anything else until that gets corrected and people see it.
Yep. And then actually, the last one on our list is East Lake and Woodlands, which is what I brought up. So they're about $80 a piece. Yeah, pretty much. I haven't been up there lately, but I know when I used to have to travel that way, it was definitely whenever they were bright and shiny, it didn't take long for them to be tarnished by tires and vehicles and stuff like that. And again, I don't understand why somebody would do that, because one, it would damage their car, but they don't realize that you can still get into that neighborhood up there passing the gas station.
They run out, and they're not going to admit to either they were impaired or they were distracted or whatever else. So they're just going to accept what little scrapes or scratches they get from running over the damn thing. So,
well, I don't think it's so much the impairment portion of it. It's the rush hour, because what happens is in that specific area, it goes from 3 lanes to 2 lanes, and then it's a right turn only, and everyone wants to jockey for position to get up, so they're not sitting in the traffic from the 2 lanes that are stopped and backed up, and they try to move over at the last minute. That's more of a rush hour problem in the afternoon. So I'll send it out to our shift commanders that maybe have some more deputies, because all you have to do really is just park a cruiser in the grass right there, right in that area, and it'll either deter it or they'll catch somebody blasting those things. So we'll keep that on the list, and I'll try to get an update for the next meeting.
Good.
All righty.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Before we got on the call, Joe Camara brought up, which feels like to me should be on this list as well, but I'll let him to speak to this, but he mentioned the Starkey Road north of Ulmerton Road, asking to put a RFB there due to children crossing. Joe, do you want to expand on that? Camara?
Oh, listen, do you want me to expand on that?
I was just going to say, do you want to explain? Not everybody was on the call.
Okay, the problem we have when that intersection right at Ulmerton and Starkey, like Mark was explaining, you get a lot of people that congregate. You got the 2 left turn lanes, you got a right turn lane, then you got the forward lane. Everybody's jockeying to get up and over on the north side quickly. They built those townhomes, I think it's 10,500. It's a little bit further up north on Starkey Road on the east side. I got a lot of Southern Oaks Elementary students that are in there. And unfortunately, people aren't paying attention to anything. So I got some of the kids, because parents are working, so the kids want to go to Wawa or to Walmart to get their drinks and stuff. So they're just cutting across that Starkey Road. And I'm worried that between the morning and afternoon time, which our population in Pinellas County is growing exponentially, and apartment buildings are going up any open lot that they could find, my kids aren't being protected. They're just aimlessly going across those roads. Cars are going faster. You know, no matter what your posted speed limit is, everybody says, well, I could do 10 over that and I'm good. Well, no, it's not good because kids can't evaluate the speed of a vehicle and their availability to make it across that road. You know, it just doesn't work. So if we could get like an RFB to slow down traffic when the kids want to go across there, it would help, or even adults. It's just something to consider.
Where on Starkey? South of Almerton or north of Almerton?
No, it's going north of Almerton.
How far north?
You're probably looking at the first townhome complex and a little bit further up.
About a quarter mile.
Yeah.
And Joe, you mentioned that.
Mike, is that something that we need to?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Joe, you mentioned that.
Is that near Willow?
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned that you put this into Pinellas County, Joe. Is that correct? The request?
Yeah, I gave it to Chelsea Favero because I know Casey Moss is like really tied up doing a lot of different stuff. So I gave it to her at our last meeting. She was going to propose it to Pinellas County, see if they were going to be receptive to this. I mean, I've seen them down on the beach. You know, you have them in areas that it amazes me. You know, they got them like pretty close together. Well, I don't care about the beach. I really don't. You know, you got adults in there. They're going to do what they want to do because all you got to do is sit on Gulf Boulevard and watch the idiots diagonally cross the road there. It's just what it is. And I'm sorry, but I was brought up in New York. I did law enforcement up there. I got 28 years in commercial transportation with United, and now I'm doing my last, like Mike said, I should probably be Baker acted at this point. But I look at how people are. It's a growing community. Kids are getting worse. Parents are more involved in their own directives or whatever. You put things on Gulf Boulevard because people are grumping and groaning. Well, there's other areas that are expanding. I worry about my kids. So if this is a possibility, I would love it.
Just so you know, the Starkey Road between Almerton and East Bay is going to be under construction soon with a sidewalk project on the east side of the road. And at the shortly thereafter, a signal will be placed at Willow Avenue, so you'll have that pedestrian crossing. But I just need to know where they're crossing at so that we can analyze it a little bit more.
I'll get you the specifics. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
And Joe, if the crosswalk that the city or the county is planning to put in, if your bus stop's only a few blocks from that, maybe we might need to adjust the bus stop to fit that.
Yep, okay. We've already talked to PSTA.
Okay.
Well, you see what because there's a PSTA stop right there, but the other problem is sidewalks are limited on that Starkey Road. So pushing my kids, trying to get them up to go there without the sidewalks is really a stretch. So if you guys are working on that stuff, that'd be great.
Yep.
Okay. I'm good.
So is everybody good with me adding this to the problem locations?
Yeah, that's fine, Melissa. We'll put it on there, reevaluate it once things get wrong.
I'll get Joan the information with the number of students and all too, or where the stop is.
Yeah, and Joe, did you get the exact cross street on that?
Yeah, especially when they're specific crossing.
More than happy to do that. I'll include you in there, Mike.
All right. Anything else with problem locations? All right. We'll move on to Machine. That's HSIP.
Good. Yeah. Good morning again. On HSIP projects, I don't have any new projects, but we're working as always with Bill Reha on getting material requests filled and getting all the materials to the cities and counties that they need and funding them. We're working on safe routes to zero intersections. There are intersections we're looking at to increase the safety at those intersections. And like I said, I haven't gotten any applications on HSIP recently or Safe Routes to School. If I can help with anything, please let me know. And again, if you have any more requests for material, please let me know. Melissa, I don't know if you got the list of projects for maybe the safe use of the safety edge for pavement.
Yep, nope, I was not able to. I know Joan sent that out, so thank you very much, Joan. I haven't received any responses yet from Pinellas County, so maybe that's just ongoing.
Yeah, I guess Clearwater, they didn't have any candidate projects, but I don't know about Tarpon Springs or St. Pete.
The same thing. I haven't received any projects from either of them. I did not even think to ask about Tarpon Springs, but I can reach out to them as well.
I don't know if Cheryl is on the line, but if we can get
Yeah,
any.
I'm here.
Hi,
Yeah, if you
Cheryl.
could just send me the yeah, thanks, Mushies. Yeah, if you just send me the email, I'll look into it and see if we have any candidates here in St. Pete. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Mashid. Anything else before we move on to fatal map? All right. So I don't want to jinx Pinellas County, but we are obviously doing a lot better than last year, significantly. Is it about, we're down 30 as of last year, right? Sandra's not on, right? Or is she on?
She is not on. She's not
So,
on.
yeah, okay, yeah, looking at the map, this time, end of June last year, we were at 83 fatal crashes, but 88 total fatalities. And now, right now, we're at 52 fatal crashes with 53 fatalities. So over 30 less than last year. So that is definitely a good sign. I hope it is, the education, either from advertisement or law enforcement, or even law enforcement presence and enforcement that is driving these numbers down. So,
hey, Mark, and I want to pass along for the first 6 months of this year, district wide, we're down 30%, the whole entire district. So, something's going on in our district, and now all the other districts are down about 10% except for one, and it went up 14%. So, District 7 though is carrying the state right now, so we're doing great here.
Yeah, I'd like to keep it that way. I know I think St. Pete just had a fatal last night, so that's going to put us at 54.
Yeah.
And actually, no, we're probably at 55. There was I think there was a fatal up in Palm Harbor yesterday as well. So, again, still better than last year, and like to just keep the numbers as low as possible. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing as far as education, law enforcement, and the enforcement side of it. So does anyone have any questions about the map at all? And as you can see on the map itself, there's our hotspots, which Ulmerton, East Bay, Gulf to Bay, US 19, Gandy, and 4th Street are obviously our areas, and I know our law enforcement folks know that. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing as far as education and enforcement, and whenever engineering needs to step in, it seems like we're doing a good job getting things done on all three of those aspects. So anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
Hey, Mark, Doug Hanson. I just can't see the
Good,
top
Doug.
of the, just can't see the top of the map. Is the total down at the bottom? Is this for the through the, okay, I see through June 30th at the top. Okay, so that's the
Correct.
total.
Yes, it's through June 30th. Correct.
Okay.
So, and then it's broken down. So of the 52 through June 30th, 19 were pedestrian, 3 were bicycle, 16 were motorcycle, 14 were auto, with 1 being a double fatal. And the others are typically medical, which means, somebody had a medical issue in a vehicle and crashed. So it wasn't the injuries that killed them. It's the medical condition that they experienced while in the vehicle. All right.
Also, where do scooters come in on that? What are they listed?
They would. Let me pull the map up again. They would fall probably under motorcycle still.
Okay.
Yep. All right. For new business, I'll just go. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Is Janice Martinez still on here?
Let's see.
I am.
Think so.
Yeah, Janice, you want to share? Yeah, you want to share what you were talking yesterday about the new form that you're trying to get pushed through to give us all some hope here on this side of the bay.
Yeah. So DHSMD, I've actually had conversations with them, opening the door when they go to redesign the crash reports to have supplemental reports for our vulnerable road users. So for our bicycles, our pedestrians, our motorcycle, our scooters, anything that's vulnerable road user, to have just a small supplemental report that will give us more data. And, some examples of that were, with a pedestrian, were they wearing dark clothes or, light clothes, or, just something like that you can check a box that our data analysis generally look for this information, but it's not readily accessible in a crash report. So DHSMV is actually receptive to having roundtable conversations when they do go to update the crash report, which is a lot further than we've gotten in the past couple of years. So that's exciting news on our part.
Janice, what's the timeline on them updating the crash report?
Oh, it's not anytime soon. It's probably about 3 years, 2 to 3 years. So they're in talks right now. The last push that they went out, I want to say that on the national level, we are like 86% compliant with the national level for everything that they want on a crash report. So it just really depends on if they have a target on where they want to be on the national level to get to that crash report status. And then input from us as to what we want to do and what we want to see. As far as, for me, there's things on the crash report that I think are, kind of not relevant to law enforcement or what we would do. And then there's stuff that I think is a pure myth that I think a lot of law enforcement data people, engineers could really utilize that would be very simple for an officer to do roadside.
Yeah, like the expiration date of a tag. What does that have to do with crashes? I never
Absolutely
understood.
Nothing. Exactly.
I never understood when they added that. Like, what date are you pulling for people that have expired tags? Crashes?
And so that was my question was, who do you ask? I mean, who are the people that sit around this table and give you the input for when you're designing this crash report? And it's a lot of FHP, but sadly, sometimes it's, people that haven't worked the road in, 25 years. So they're at least receptive to listening to us. Now, whether or not they will move forward with it, at least we have a seat at the table now.
Okay. All right. That's good.
But yeah, and it's just like Doug just asked about scooters, so that'll have a category, I hope.
I had a question about that. This is Cheryl, SAP. Does that maybe also include for vulnerable road users when there's not a motor vehicle involved? So say a scooter user goes down just because they hit a pothole or something, and then they hit their head and suffer a fatality, or a bicyclist and a bicyclist crash.
So that
would it include like that?
So that would absolutely depend on the classification of a crash report and whether or not it falls into whether it's a crash or not. You have a pedestrian that's walking down the road and, falls and bumps his head and hits a car. That's not a crash report. That will go on an incident report whether they die or not.
Yeah, it's just so hard to query. It's so hard to query traffic incidents to find issues associated with scooters or anything that doesn't involve a motor vehicle.
So
right. Now, me personally, like I would love a separate reporting just for our scooters or.
yeah, I would say, and Cheryl, you're right, because looking at the crash report regarding bicyclists, there are some questions on there where they wearing a helmet or not. Same thing with a motorcycle, but there are certain crashes that occur where, yes, they hit a pothole where there is not a checkbox for that. They would basically say, primary cause, and it would be other, and you would have to physically go into the crash report, read the narrative to see what caused it, especially if it's a single vehicle scooter crash where, a scooter hits a pothole, the rider, gets thrown from the scooter, hits his head because he's not wearing a helmet. But again, that is tracked if it is a DOT approved helmet. So there are certain things that definitely can be added, especially for the vulnerable road users on the crash report. So hopefully we got the right people asking those questions and getting it added to the crash report whenever it is updated.
Yeah, it will be a lot, and we're going to put it out there to our coalitions. I think would be the best place to start. So our Bicycle Pedestrian Coalition, our Motorcycle Coalition, and say, if you had a wish list of things as an engineer, as an educator, as a law enforcement officer, if you had a wish list of items that could be on your crash report for a motor, and then we could compile that, and then have educated conversations about what could possibly, be more beneficial for the next version of our crash report.
Yeah, and it's full even pedestrian too, because there's really nothing in there as to what clothing they were wearing.
Correct. Yeah, and a lot of the answers are in a homicide report or do get more in depth. But then our poor people, researchers have to sit there and read through the 3,600 fatality reports we have a year to find out the answers that they're looking for.
Yep. So all right, we'll just wait for that update. The only new thing I do have, so for the September in-person meeting, I'm going to reach out to Danita Jones and see if we can, one, do it there, but two, have her at the end of the meeting give us a tour of and have her folks do a presentation on the Pinellas County traffic ops and what they're doing and the type of lighting that they put up. We've done this before. It's been a while, so I figured September's in-person meeting would be good for that. So we can talk about this more in August, and I'll get with Danita to make sure that one, it's the building's available for us to be there in September, and that she can have her folks do a presentation for us after our meeting.
Good.
That sounds great. It's always fun to be there.
Yes. Yeah, I do like going there. So, all right. Anyone else have anything before we end today?
Yeah, Mark.
Okay. Yeah,
Doug Hansen here. First of all, I wanted to tell you, I wasn't at the last virtual meeting, but when I was at the joint meeting, you did a great job in your presentation. I thought it was the best of all the CTSTs, and I wanted to thank you for that. Your slide presentation was so orderly and easily understandable and had so much information. You're to be greatly commended for that. And
thank you, Doug.
Secondly, I have a question about maintenance on the Pinellas Trail. I had originally been told that issues that rely within cities like the city of St. Petersburg are the responsibility of the city, and otherwise, if it's outside the city, it's Pinellas County. And there's a problem with the trail. It's actually on Tropicana Field where there's a bridge and the pavement is sunk, and it needs a little bit of pavement added at the one end. And I did submit a C-click fix to the city, and then they bounced it back and said it was Pinellas County's responsibility. And so I'm trying to figure out whose responsibility it is. And the second part of this question is I'm concerned in certain places about the condition of the pavement on the trail. There's a lot of tree roots that are really rising, especially west of 24th and 31st Street. south. And who could answer as to who's responsible for what on the Pinellas Trail maintenance?
Cheryl, do you want to talk about where in St. Pete you guys take care of, and then I'll talk about for us?
Yeah, so the pavement maintenance, though, I think if I remember right, in the maintenance agreement between the city and the county have a maintenance agreement for the portion of the Pinellas Trail that the city owns. So the city owns the land east of 34th Street. West of 34th Street, the county owns the land for the Pinellas Trail. In the section east of 34th, there's an existing maintenance agreement, and my recollection is that the pavement maintenance responsibilities stay with the county, and that they agree to maintain it in the same to the same level of standard as they maintain the other sections of the trail. So no better or no worse than the other sections of the trail. So other issues associated with the trail, the city does maintain. If we add extra landscaping, we maintain that. We have traffic control jurisdiction for the traffic control along the Pinellas Trail, and that's for all of the Pinellas Trail in St. Pete. But that's generally my understanding. Does that match with yours, Joan?
Yes, that's what matches with mine too. So, yeah, Pinellas County is in charge of the rest of the trail there. So tell me again where your locations were, and I'll make sure that they get put in.
Well, it sounds like it might be city locations. So one was at Tropicana Field. The other one, the big one though, is west of 31st Street South. The tree roots there are just really bad, and they even built an alternate path at one time, and it's got a small pothole in it, but even that's got tree roots at the end of it. And then even when you go past that area of that tree, there's more tree roots, and then even east of that going toward the city, there's tree roots bumping up on the trail. And I'm just wondering, is there any way to someone go out and actually look at this stuff and see what the issues are?
You also mentioned the one that's over by Tropicana Field. You said that it's with the bridge. I'm not quite sure if the bridge is the city's or ours. What was going on at the bridge?
On one side of the bridge, the pavement is has settled, and it creates a bump going up onto the bridge, and that's on the west side of that bridge. On the east side, you can see previously, years ago, they had the same problem. They had added a little bit of asphalt along the edge of the bridge so that it was a smooth ride up into the bridge.
Okay. Well, thank you. Cheryl, you want to take it back to your group?
Yeah, I can certainly check out the section by 31st, because 31st, that's where we had the little section, the little pocket park we did. So some of that might actually be ours. I'll go out and take a look at it. I was out at the Trop and the Trail Bridge yesterday and didn't notice anything. I was just looking through my pictures. I'll go out there and take some pictures too. And Joan, we'll circle up on this and get a path forward.
Right, exactly. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Yeah, just let me know. Thank you.
All right.
Mark.
All right. Anyone else have anything?
Mark, you got a minute?
Yep.
All right. I've got one thing I wanted to bring to everybody's attention, particularly law enforcement and even some of the cities. You guys are placing message boards out on the right of way, particularly state roads. Mm-hmm. It's been brought to our attention. We're having some issues with that. And I've got a printed form that's being sent out. It's going to go to all the agencies. What DOT's standards are for placing those out there on the highway. Some of the things it's not just Pinellas County, but Pinellas County has the majority of the complaints, I guess, because there's more agencies there. But one of the big issues is a line of sight issue from cross streets when these signs are put out on the right of ways. And another one of the issues is about messages other than traffic safety. That the only thing that the state allows when you put message boards out there is it has to be strictly 100% purposes. You can't put on there like I had one in Pasco County. You guys will laugh. The SO had one out there, a skeet such and such a date. You can't do those on state roads. I don't think you guys have skeet shoots in Pinellas, but
I know the sheriff's office does.
Yeah, I just use that one as an example because it's kind of humorous what it was.
Yeah, the sheriff's office, they have some shooting tournament, but I know they definitely don't use the signs, our trailer signs to advertise it. But yeah, if you could send me that letter too, because unfortunately a lot of our trailers that go out get put out by CPOs for the most part, so I can forward it to the two supervisors over there, so they know.
Yeah, and it's the directions that having the type of cones or barriers around the machine, the message boards. But George is going to make sure. George is online, and him and I've already had a conversation. I sent it to him this morning because I got it this morning as well. Bring up to all the CTSTs, but it's also going to go out to all the law enforcement agencies throughout the entire district. So because it's gotten out of hand again, it's time to just remind everybody what the rules are when it comes to state roads, placing these boards out there.
Sounds good.
That takes care of that. One other thing I'm looking for PSA information, guys. If you have any PSAs, I don't know if you've been to the movie theaters lately, but DOT is biting the bullet, and we're doing some editing. It would be nice to have some fresh PSAs, and if you guys have great ideas, please forward them to me. We'll take a look at them and see if we can produce a PSA to put out there in the movie theaters.
Well, actually, I went to the movies Tuesday. It was the first time in like 5 years. I didn't see any PSAs for traffic on there.
Well, it just ended, so we just tried it at a select group here in Tampa and St. Pete. So,
okay.
And we did it for a month, and it was on rotation, so between a bunch of the AMCs. So I don't know when and where they all appeared. We're just now getting ready to get some data back on it, but it looks like that we had some success out of it.
Sounds good. Alrighty. Anybody else?
No, Mark, I'll send that policy out. It pertains specifically to speed trailers as well, because you have to have permission to come out there, and we'll give you the point of contact. If you're going to put a speed trailer for temporary out on a state road, who to contact for that, and the VMS falls under that. We're not even in a discussion about LPRs. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Anybody else? All right. Thank you guys for all coming and attending the virtual one. We will see you virtually next month, and then in person in September, hopefully at Pinellas County Traffic Ops. Have a good day.
Okay, have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.